Our next category of questions in our RV Digest is all about trip planning. So, on to the questions. How do I find campgrounds along my route? There are many ways to do this. You can find campgrounds by using a book of campgrounds, like the one published annually by Camping World and Good Sam's. A directory specific to an interest or club, like Passport America's directory. An app on your phone, computer, or tablet. Trip planning software, even RV-specific GPS units. But the popular answer is to use apps. Most often mentioned are Allstays RV and Campgrounds and RV Parky. Note that Allstays RV is no longer available for Android devices. What sites or apps can I use to help plan my trip? When planning a trip, you can use Google Maps, Good Sam's online trip planning tool, or more sophisticated and sometimes more expensive tools like Road Trippers and RV Trip Wizard. Some of the things to consider when looking for a trip planning tool are whether or not you can view campgrounds, see routes, plan routes that consider the size of your rig, allow you to save your trip, and maybe even send your planned route to a GPS device. The popular answers about this most people seem to use Google Maps, but they supplement their research by using something like a trucker's road atlas that will show them roads to avoid. Of course, if you use an online tool, Good Sam's is often mentioned. You need a Good Sam's membership to use it. Road Trippers is a very nice site that has a lot of features, especially when it comes to finding things to do at your destination. And RV Trip Wizard is very popular. It costs about $40 per year, but it does everything very well and is full-featured. It even draws circles at various radius lengths around a location so you can quickly find places to stop at your preferred driving distance. For example, if you want to drive no more than 300 miles per day, one of the circles can be set up at 300 miles as the crow flies. And by looking at this circle, where it's overlaid on your route, you can plan your stops. And it's loaded with other features that, in my opinion, make it well worth a $40 annual price. Where do I get information about boondocking? There's a lot of information about boondocking on the internet. Google it, you'll see. People often ask questions about boondocking on Facebook, but their questions are usually along the lines of, we're going to some town, Utah, and are looking for a place to boondock. Any suggestions? If you want to know more about boondocking itself, how to prepare things you may want if you do it a lot, check out all the boondocking videos on YouTube. Since this question is so general, there isn't a particular answer that is the most popular. Some sites will provide general information, while others list places you can stay. When you Google boondocking, visit any one of numerous blogs by RVers that go into great detail about what it is and what you can expect. One of them is at boondockerswelcome.com. They even have subscribers. They volunteer private places to stay. For an annual fee of about $25, you can access the list and reserve a spot. Where can I get information about visiting farms? Well, the best place for this is to check out Harvest Host. That's harvesthost.com. You pay a yearly fee and are able to make 1 or 2 night free reservations at hundreds of working farms, museums, wineries, breweries, and distilleries across the nation. Should I always call ahead and make camping reservations? Well, the popular answer basically is it depends. A lot of people answer this by saying they love the adventure and flexibility they have by not having too much of a plan. But nearly everyone will reply that it's often necessary to make reservations at popular campgrounds, especially if it's in season, and this is location independent. A good example of this is Florida, where it may be easy to find campground space between April and November, but once winter arrives in most of the country, Florida is a great spot for snowbirds and campgrounds, especially the nice ones, which will get booked up well in advance. The middle ground here is to reserve your big destinations in advance, but leave flexibility in your plans for the shorter, less important to you stays. Personally, if I'm heading out on a big trip, especially in the summer, I'll book everything in advance. As RV sales have increased, so have campground reservations. Where can we stay for just one night while traveling? Well, preferably somewhere that's free or low cost. So you want to look at like longer term free and low cost stays. You can dry camp or boondock. We talked about this a little earlier. The most popular answer is Walmart, which is the most frequently mentioned place to stay overnight while traveling, although there are many other popular places that are frequently mentioned too. Among them are Pilot and Flying J fuel stops, Love's, Costco, Home Depot, and even Cracker Barrel. Many people spend the night in highway rest areas. The general consensus for these one-nighters at fuel stops and rest areas is to get there early, like 3 or 4 p.m. at the very latest, and leave early. If you don't, you may find that all of the spaces are occupied by truckers. Get the Trucker Path app for some good places with relatively current updates as to the vacancy status of overnight stops. What are some of the most popular discount cards to have? Well, discount cards and memberships are offered by quite a few places. Often mentioned are AAA and AARP, and camping clubs like FMCA, Escapees, Passport America, Thousand Trails, Good Sam's. Fuel vendors and Pilots, Flying J's, and Loves also offer membership cards with discounts. The most popular answer, though, is people cite Passport America for discounted camping. Many long-term campers like Thousand Trails due to its low cost, although you'll hear the occasional rumbling about some of their not-so-good campgrounds. For fuel discounts, the Pilot Flying J credit card, along with the membership to Good Sam's, is popular because of the fuel discounts and the benefit of using it at the pump without having to go into the store for pre-approval, like you have to do with regular credit cards. Also frequently mentioned is the Senior Pass for national parks, available from the National Park Service. That's store.usgs.gov/pass/general.html. I'll put it below here. There's a lot more to say about trip planning. Check out the RV Life in the Slow Lane blog for some info about apps, and take a look at the YouTube channel for a detailed walkthrough of RV Trip Wizard. See you next time.